Hello, my name is Bradley Calvino, and today I want to discuss the topic of Pablo Picasso's famous painting, La Vie. La Vie is an oil-on canvas painting made in 1903, which currently resides in the Cleveland Museum of Art. In specificity, I want to explain the painting's form. When initially observing La Vie, you see four figures in a seemingly shallow space within close proximity to each other. This shallowness is further amplified by the relative closeness of the background paintings to the forefront of the observation plane from which the viewer observes. And although while not symmetrical, the painting is very balanced across the y-axis on the canvas. The mass to weight ratio of the drawn figures and of the objects make the painting feel very light, really almost weightless. This is due to the figures appearing slim in their nude and dressed facades. The material of a canvas is also known to be light, and the combination of this material and the facades of the figures in the foreground synergize to give this feeling of weightlessness, which contrasts the amount of space the masses of the figures actually occupy within the painting. I feel a deep connection with this painting. It is said that Pablo Picasso made this painting when one of his close friends committed suicide. As stated by clevelandart.org, this painting is supposed to show the gruesome reality that is human misery and social alienation. I found this painting resounding because back in my high school days, I've always seen certain people get alienated for differences they possess. And maturing, I realized that these differences shouldn't be sources for alienation, but instead celebratory differences. It makes me wonder if when those people were alienated and isolated from the rest of the school society, if they saw the world as a bleak and weightless existence. Going forward through my maturity now, when I see events like these take place, I spring to action and try to incorporate the differences into different groups in a positive aspect.
Hi, my name is Jade Cacho. I am currently a sophomore education major here at FAU. The piece that my group and I chose consists entirely of a monochromatic blue color palette. In art, blue typically symbolizes despair and melancholy, which makes sense considering this piece comes from a place of deep tragedy and depression for Picasso, losing his best friend at the time. Another thing I want to talk about is implied line, which is what you get with the hand of the male figure pointing upwards towards a mother-like figure, which symbolizes a more wholesome and pure and all-encompassing love like a mother can give, rather than something draining and obsession like the figure that is clung to the male body. And this speaks to me personally because I struggle with deep sadness in life sometimes and tunnel vision, and the hand, it just reminds me there's something better to look upwards toward.
Hi, my name is Attilia and I'm going to be talking about the formal element surface in the Pablo Picasso's painting La Vie. To give a bit of background information, the surface of a painting can be described through texture and brushwork. Texture is the appearance of how the surface of a painting feels or would feel, and brushwork is how a painter uses their brush to add characteristics to their paintings. The texture in La Vie is visual texture, and that gives the illusion that the painting physically has texture. However, the painting is actually smooth. This can be manipulated in many ways, such as the brush strokes and the type of paint used to create the piece. La Vie was painted by using oil paint, and oil paint is known for leaving a smooth finish on any painting. Although the paint was physically smooth, the brushwork gave the illusion that the skin and walls in the painting have a physical texture to it. La Vie was a painting created during Picasso's Blue period, which affiliated with the emotions of desolation and despair. During this time, Picasso's paintings were meant to represent fragility and vulnerability. This artwork touched me because during this time period in Picasso's life, he didn't keep his feelings bottled up to himself. Instead, he expressed his emotions through his artwork so that the viewers can relate to his art piece and interpret it in their own ways.
Hi, my name is Emma Burnside, and I'm going to be discussing the composition of Pablo Picasso's artwork, La Vie. Centralized composition can be noticed right away with the naked couple in the front and the mother figure holding a child. This is centralized because they are in the middle of the painting and much bigger and more defined than the other objects. The painting is also an informal structure because it lacks symmetry. Instead, the painting displays contrast through color and shape characteristics. The composition of this artwork is used in hues of blues to set the feeling of the painting. The composition of the two couples in the background could be described as diffused composition since it goes from darker to lighter. This painting is said to be about Picasso's close friend who committed suicide. The painting depicts the misery and alienation of the world. This painting is relatable because I think everyone feels alone sometimes, and this painting puts it into a visualization.
Hello, my name is Gwyn Brown, and I'm 18 years old. I attend Florida Atlantic University, and this is my first year here. For this assignment, my group and I chose to analyze Pablo Picasso's famous painting, La Vie. I want to discuss Picasso's use of space in this artwork and how it relates to me in a further context. Picasso takes the use of space very obviously in this painting. When we take a look at it, on the left, we have a man and a woman like hugging, and then a few feet away we have a woman and a child. The space between the people allows the viewer to realize that there's a sort of tension among these people, and it lets you get an emotional perspective of the artwork. This artwork connects to my personal life in the instance of the motivation for the creation of the painting. Picasso's theme of painting is based on social alienation and suicide, and I'm currently studying psychology in hopes to be a psychiatrist to study these people with those problems and how their minds work.
Hello, my name is Dean Kane, and I will be covering the compositional elements of symmetry/asymmetry and orientation in Pablo Picasso's La Vie, meaning life. From a technical standpoint, Picasso's painting, while not perfectly symmetrical across the Y vertical axis, depicts two individuals on either side. The left a man and woman, the right a woman and child of unknown sex. Only the subjects on the right are clothed. The contrast in context makes sense, seeing as life itself is inconsistent. As for the orientation of the artwork, the subjects themselves are posed in a rigid and cold manner. As opposed to works with more curvature and movement, symbolizing freedom and joy, these monotonous shapes allude to a feeling of being stuck in grief. At first, I found it difficult to connect Picasso's work to my personal life until I discovered the origins of the painting itself. Picasso created this work as a tribute to a friend he lost to suicide. The standstill nature of this painting reminds me of exactly how I felt at the age of 11 when I lost a dear friend of mine to a similar struggle. It was a feeling I was never able to put into words, let alone art. It's almost reassuring to see that others have gone through stories not unlike mine and can share these emotions through creative mediums.